So one of my first experiences with art as a child was visiting Lomar Sculpture Park, which is an outdoor sculpture park in St. Louis, Missouri, where I was born. I got to really experience sculptures and works of art with my body by walking through them, walking under them, walking around them, and really seeing them, and maybe even sometimes climbing on them. And I really remember that. So my early experiences in experiencing art were learning through my body. And I think that really connects with my first encounters with the work of David Siqueiros. I was invited to give a workshop at the Santa Barbara Museum of Art. They have one of his murals, The Portrait of Mexico, today there. And in working with that, we used theater strategies to get people to connect their own stories, their own lives to these images in the murals, these bodies that were represented in his mural. We actually took it out onto the street and did street theater. So for me, it was a really powerful and personal teaching experience through this incredible artist. And that really drove me then to find this work in the Portland Art Museum's collection. This incredible print from 1947. It really plays with the way that we make meaning out of simply just representing a human body, in this case, this sort of bound male body. He's reaching his arms out, and they're bound, which is something I think that you don't often notice when you look at this image the first time. He's using, lines and this lithograph to create this really strong image. Looking at it, I notice the sort of knees on the bottom that are these very simple curving lines. The face, we're not getting eyes, nose, and mouth. We're getting this sort of grid of lines, almost like a mask across it. So we're kind of losing the identity. And then these really powerful hands are thrust right into the middle of the image. So he's prominently featuring these hands, which he does throughout a lot of his work. It's not solely an image of suffering. I think it's a very strong revolutionary body that Siqueiros has created, being a political activist artist himself. Another interesting thing I love about this work is that it's based on a photo of himself. So he actually then used his own body to pose the image and probably tied his hands together, I would imagine, had a photograph taken of himself, which then becomes the basis for this work. So my first encounter experiencing his work through my own body and engaging others through it, now looking at this 1947 work of his through his own body. Overall, it's just amazing how much, I think, in all art, but also this image is a good example, how much the human body can, in and of itself, contain so much meaning and really motivate us to think, and in some cases, even act.